It all starts off on October 14th, 2015. Jose Bautista steps up to the plate to face Sam Dyson. It's a 1-1 count, and Dyson is about to make the pitch that etched Bautista in the history books. But wait, isn't this video supposed to be on the Colorado Rockies? Why are you showing a Blue Jays video if you're such a big Rockies fan? Well, it's important to note that I did not grow up with baseball. You see, I didn't grow up in the US or was born there. Hell, I didn't even go to the USA very much until the age of 10, where I went to Seattle. But I grew up here. Canada is very much a hockey country, and although I had a small like for baseball, my childhood was all about hockey. I didn't grow up watching Jeter, Pujols, and Lincecum. I grew up watching Iginla, Kiprusoff, and Giordano lead my hometown Calgary Flames to, let's say, mixed results. For a child in Canada, it often takes a lot for a sports-loving kid to switch their allegiance off of hockey. But yet, this magical 2015 Blue Jays season, which culminated in a beautiful bat flip by Jose Bautista, did just that. I watched this moment and I told myself that I had to get into baseball. The obvious question here is, why didn't I just become a Jays fan? Why did I choose the Rockies? I guess it was something about it trying to be unique. As with any kid who gets into a new hobby in this current age, I watched a bunch of videos. Longest home runs, filthiest pitches, and of course, best defensive plays. There was one player that showed consistently within these highlights. One player that caught my attention towards what would be my favorite team in a year's time. Many of you already know who I'm talking about, and that player was Nolan Arenado.
Big chopper to third, tough play, Arenado, bare hand, got his man! Oh, what a play again by Nolan Arenado. That's pulled, oh, Arenado! To first, got him, what a play! This may be playable. A lot of times it'll come back and... Oh my goodness, did he catch that?
He caught that.
You gotta be kidding me.
This is Nolan Arenado. He's one of the best defensive players of all time. He's one of the best Rockies of all time. He's the current face of the Rockies and will hopefully continue to be for many years to come. He's got the accolades. 7 straight Gold Gloves to start off his career proves that the voters have noticed his defensive talent. 3 of those Gold Gloves turned into Platinum Gloves, cementing himself as a top defensive player. Defense isn't all he has though, being a key cog in the Rockies' offensive machine. He's won 4 Silver Sluggers at third base, beating other impressive third basemen like Anthony Rendon and Justin Turner. He's made 5 straight All-Star games since his All-Star debut in 2015. He's been in the top 10 of MVP voting in those same 5 years, placing as high as number 3 in 2018. I'd get into how hard it is for a Rockies player to win MVP, but that's another video. With somebody this talented, no wonder he grabbed my attention towards the Rockies. Though just as important to many fans is the history of the franchise. So, how did a team that had only existed since 1993 get more preference over the other historical teams in the league? There's another player to introduce. This is Carlos Gonzalez.
185 feet.
High drive, deep right field, way back and out of here. And that slider is caught left field by Gonzales.
For Corey.
That's punched through the right side. And up with the baseball's cargo. Here's the throw to third. Out at third.
Before there was Nolan Arenado as the face of the Rockies, there was Carlos Gonzalez. As the greatest Rocky in history, Todd Helton, was winding his career down, the Rockies needed an all-star to make up for his losses. That player was Carlos Gonzalez, who also conveniently directly replaced Matt Holliday after he was traded. Gonzalez definitely didn't do as much as Arenado in the trophy case. A 3-time All-Star, 2 Silver Sluggers, a batting title, and 3 Gold Gloves is still pretty good, but nothing close to Arenado. Cargo ranks 5th in the Rockies' history by BWAR, and will very soon be overtaken by someone I'll mention later in this video. So, why do Rockies fans hold Gonzalez to the same standard as Arenado when talking Rockies legends? To put it simply, he was something special in the Rockies era where nothing really happened. He did join the team in 2009, where the Rockies went 92-70 to make the playoffs, but from 2010 to 2016, the Rockies struggled. In that span, they won 503 games to 631 losses. That's a winning percentage of a measly 44%. These years were some dark times. Sure, Arenado made his debut in 2013, but he wouldn't be the all-around all-star caliber player we all know today until the back half in 2015. Carlos Gonzalez represented a steady presence in dark times, and on July 31st, 2010, he made history.
Little pony, Carlos Gonzalez. High drive, deep right, touch him all. He's done it. Are you kidding me? Come on.
This home run was historic, being one that not only won the game for the Rockies, but also gave Carlos Gonzalez a cycle. In the history of the MLB, they have happened only 330 times. Hitting a home run to win the game and seal the cycle has happened only 6 times in history, with Gonzalez being the 5th player to do so. That home run was in the second half of the 2010 MLB season, and he would continue being fantastic, hitting for a triple slash of 363, 421, and 681 for the rest of the year. From 2011 to 2016, he'd hit 288, 348, and 522 with 150 home runs. I was not there to experience any of this, but I was lucky to be able to see Cargo when I became a fan. It allowed me to look at his history and truly be invested. So I've covered who already was the star in Nolan Arenado, and then being able to catch the previous star of Carlos Gonzalez. Obviously, to complete my own cycle of becoming a Rockies fan, I needed to look at the future of Rockies baseball. It was immediately introduced to me as I watched opening day in 2016. This is Trevor's story.
Club to deep left, take a good look, you won't see this one for long. Concourse! That's it, as he says. Deep in the hole, and the jump throw by Story, got it by a step. That's simple. This ball's hit a long way again. That's number 30. Where will this one land? Concourse again!
Of course, Arenado and Gonzales may be interested in the Rockies, and 2016 was the season I gave them their first shot. Though, as much as I was excited to see these two go up to bat, on April 4th, 2016, there was a different player making headlines. Trevor Story was making his debut in Phoenix, Arizona, and represented the future of the Rockies at shortstop. For many years, the Rockies had a mainstay at shortstop in Troy Tulowitzki. I only saw him as a Blue Jays shortstop in 2015, but before he was traded, he and Helton were the two faces of the Rockies. As Helton started to falter, Cargo stepped up to be the 1-2 punch in Denver. But as Tulo grew older, he would start to go down with some injury concerns. Suddenly, at the 2015 deadline, his health was very much in question, and with a big contract, the Rockies looked to trade him. In a trade that really wasn't that impressive, Tulo was sent to the Jays, betraying both the trust of him and many Rockies fans. Heading into the 2016 season, Trevor Story had a lot of pressure to perform as the future replacement to one of the best players in Rockies history. His first at-bat was nothing special. He grounded out to third base, but then came his second at-bat, where
Story hits it high and deep right field. Way back and gone! 3-run bomb. Welcome to the big leagues, Trevor Story.
Trevor Story hit his first home run as his first hit. That isn't as rare as a cycle, but that's still pretty impressive. Considering it was off of one of the better pitches in MLB history in Zack Greinke, it was even more impressive. If that was the only thing he did that day, he'd already have Rockies fans hyped. But in the next inning, he did it again.
And this ball's hit a long way to left. Take a good look. You won't see this one for long. You want to talk about a debut?
This home run put him in the record books. At the time of recording this video, no player has ever hit multiple home runs in his debut other than Trevor Story. He may have gotten out in his next 3 at-bats going 2 for 6 on the day, but this was historic. You know what he did the next game?
This ball is hit high in the air, deep left field. Did anybody do that? Another bomb!
He hit yet another home run, and on the next day,
and this ball is tatered left center field. Does it have a chance? Gone!
Oh, and guess what happened on the next day?
Now it's for striking. High deep left field. Take a good look. You won't see it for long.
And then later that same day,
Story drives this to deep left field again, and this one's gone.
In his 4 games, Story hit 6 home runs. Hitting 2 home runs in the first game was already incredibly impressive, and he goes ahead and hits 4 more in the next 3 games. People love Tulo, but Story was easing people about the future of the Rockies. And with back-to-back All-Star appearances and Silver Sluggers in 2020 and 2019, there's not a single Rockies fan who doesn't trust Story anymore. As a person who was a bit too late to the party to be bitter about Tulo, I immediately saw the next best shortstop in Rockies history. Cargo and Nolan got me into the Rockies, but seeing the historic debut of Trevor Story kept me firmly a Rockies fan. Without these players, maybe I would have become a Jays fan, but I'm a Rockies fan and I will forever be. To end off this video, I mentioned that Cargo was the 5th player in baseball history to hit a walk-off home run for the cycle. I'm going to play who the 6th player was now. Thanks for watching.
Here we go. High fly ball, deep left field. Way back.